Vince McMahon starting new wrestling company after WWE update. This from Wrestle Talk. A lot of speculation and conjecture. I look at this from an outsider to the industry, that perspective. Not knowing Vince McMahon, having never been in a room with Vince McMahon outside of being at WrestleMania 23, which doesn't count, obviously. But if we're being very literal, no, I've never sat in a meeting with him. And, I don't know his quirks or his personality outside of knowing him from the media and what we've gotten to know of him over the years through the various trials and tribulations. Starting a new wrestling company at his age is, and his health, given what his outward appearance is. Now, this all could be a work. Vince is a master manipulator. And I want to play this clip right here from Vince Russo. And I super chatted him this morning during his live stream, and because I said something to kind of get his thoughts on this, and it went a little something like this.
Etep Woken's the place to be reviews. Thank you, my friend Hale. Love the content, bro. I've been told I do a pretty good impression of you. There's no way Vince is starting a new company at his age. Bro, let's talk about that. Bro, here's the problem. I worked with Vince McMahon. I worked very closely with Vince McMahon. There was a time, bro, when I was literally connected to the hip of Vince McMahon. Bro, I would sit at Vince McMahon's dining room table when he would lift up a leg and let one out. Okay, bro? That's how well I know this man. And I can tell you, bro, you don't beat this man. You don't defeat this man. You do not get over on this man. And this man, bro, is very, very, very vindictive. And you don't know that, bro, unless you know him.
After listening to Vince's thoughts on this, who Vince is somebody, honestly, Vince Russo is somebody I have a lot of respect for. After being rough on him over the years and not really grasping the entire scope of the situation of what happened with WCW and finally understanding it, not completely, but as much as an outsider can to that. A lot of the things where there were bad decisions, I'm sure he made, as everybody makes when they're in positions like creatively. So that being said, in the world of professional wrestling now, Vince Russo is one of the, I would say, the most sane voices in the room. He really is. And with what he said on this, Vince being so vindictive and not wanting to yield that control, he's always scheming, he's always plotting, those kind of things. I would agree with him, but I would disagree in the fact from the lawsuit standpoint, the legality of it, getting a TV deal. But, this is Vince McMahon we're talking about. This guy took professional wrestling and turned it into what it is today, which for better or for worse, it's what it is. So, and Vince McMahon didn't make the best creative decisions throughout his career too, as we've all witnessed with WWF, WWE, through the years. So I still stand firm by I don't see him starting a company. I just don't think it's feasible. But if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But bro, I just don't know if I see it, bro. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Vince has it in him at this point, bro. Yeah, so let's move on to our next topic here. I don't see it happening, but time will tell. AEW gets warning from Oklahoma State Athletic Commission. This, of course, relates to Nyla Rose and calling it intergender wrestling, which, let's be honest here, folks. You guys know where I stand on this.
That ain't no woman.
Play devil's advocate here and say I don't take this hardline stance that this is...
It's a man.
And, feels more comfortable as if saying he's a female and acting as such. I worked on the indies with Nyla Rose many, many years ago. And I just look at this like it's professional wrestling. Now, I know, and I read through the comment section on this, and a lot of the comments were, I don't know why the State Athletic Commission is involved in professional wrestling. These are obviously very young fans who don't know that the State Athletic Commissions used to govern professional wrestling when it was still called a sport and not sports entertainment. But that is before your time, young ones. Before your time, you used to have to get a wrestling license as a worker in some states. So that was a thing much before there was instant messaging and Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Before the internet, before a lot of these marks as they are were born that don't understand that there's a time before 2000. But we were saying that as kids too about the older generations. So, but no, they used to have wrestling licenses. So that's why the State Athletic Commission is involved, and they have a ban on intergender sports in Oklahoma, apparently. Call it what you will. The sports, college and other legitimate athletic competitions that don't have predetermined outcomes like professional wrestling does. I'm not saying it's not a sport. I participated in it. Trust me, this is as tough as hockey or anything else, tougher in some respects, but there's nothing you can do that prepares you for competing in the ring. There's truly nothing like it outside of being a professional stuntman, I would say. But no, the intergender aspect of this, I look at it in a light like this. It is professional wrestling. It is the theater of the absurd. And what's more absurd than this?
Nothing.
I really don't see this as an issue outside from a perspective of a man versus a woman in a legitimate sporting event. This is predetermined. I'm not saying that I endorse Nyla Rose, but I'm simply saying from a realist perspective, this is not a woman playing one-on-one tennis against a man, or a female football player stepping out onto the field, or an all-female team against an all-males team in football or basketball, something like that. That's, or boxing. We could go to that. That was probably a better example, but I got there in a roundabout way. So this isn't a boxing match. It's professional wrestling. This is a nothing burger. And, the State Athletic Commission, like I said, I don't endorse, but I mean, in this respect, they've got it wrong. Report: WWE has investigated Ronda Rousey's claims against Drew Gulak. They had him killed off screen by another faction. He's no longer going to be on WWE TV, I don't foresee, which is kind of ridiculous that they're taking Ronda Rousey's side. I understand the why. It's for appearances because of the Vince McMahon scandal. That's why they're acting in this manner. It's a new era, everything. They can't let anything like that fly. Even if Drew Gulak did nothing wrong, they still removed him from everything, which I see placing him on administrative leave until pending a full investigation. And if he's found to have done nothing wrong, which this is all coming from Ronda Rousey. I haven't heard any corroborating evidence on this case from any other superstars backstage, any of the other personnel. So this was, she said he did, and in this case, Drew Gulak felt the wrath of the cancel culture and the reactionaries that would fire somebody before actually doing an investigation. Like I said, should have been placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation, a nonpartisan, a third-party independent investigation, because in-house investigations, not always the most unbiased. So, and I'm not a Drew Gulak fan. I just want to see what actually happened as opposed to her making a wild accusation while in the middle of trying to promote her upcoming book and burying the company that paid her, a handful of years or so in the process. She's just burying them now, which is absolutely hilarious. But I mean, it's the behavior that I've come to expect from Ronda Rousey, who has absolutely no humility. Sheamus reacts to body shaming contents after WWE Raw return. You can see in the picture Sheamus is a little bit huskier than usual. He's still a very big man, and I'm sure he's in much better shape than, most of your average American males. American males. He got some ribbing online, and I know we've done this to people before. Looked at him and been like, but I want to look at Sheamus's response. I'm just big boned. That is a perfect response, and that is how you take these things in stride, folks. I really, really like Sheamus. I do. I've not always been a fan of his in-ring work, but I genuinely think he's a good guy, and this was a great response to this. So it just kind of lets you know where Sheamus stands on things and how he takes it in stride, and that is a great way to deal with that kind of stuff on Twitter, which we all know Twitter isn't reality. Twitter isn't reality. Sheamus is a good dude. The Oklahoma State Athletic Commission's got it wrong, and only time will tell if Vince McMahon is going to start another wrestling company. Bro, I will be interested to see what Vince McMahon does, bro. No, that's something that I'm interested in to see what he does. More interested in that am I than I am in watching Raw or SmackDown, seeing how the whole Vince saga, plays out and comes to fruition over the next couple months. I really am. But yeah, it's that time, folks. I'm done rambling. You let me know what you think. If you want more wrestling content, sound off in the comments, subscribe. We got horror content as well. Be sure to tune in Monday, 8:35 for Nitro, Tuesday, 8:15 for Tuesday Night Terrorvision. I'm Etep from the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all these. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I will catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.